Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com, and today we're going to learn how to make the Easy Beginners Lacy Summer Scarf. Okay, let me tell you what you're going to need. But before I do that, let me just ask, if you haven't already subscribed, if you could just hit that subscribe button, that would be great. And if you want to receive future notifications of my videos, just hit that little bell. Okay, well, let me show you what we're going to need.
This is going to be a one hank project, and let me show you. This is the yarn that we are going to be using. It's Knitology by, if I'm saying that right, by Knit Crate. This is some of the information on this yarn. It's a sock weight. It's 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 10% cashmere. This is a fingering weight or sock weight. This has approximately 439 yards or 400 meters. Now, if you are interested in obtaining yarn like this, you can check with Knit Crate. I'll have the information down below. But if you don't have that, that's okay. You can use any sock weight or fingering weight yarn that you may have on hand. You are also going to need a size G or 6 or 4.00 crochet hook. And I'm also recommending that you have a yarn needle handy, and as always, a pair of small scissors. Okay, to start, we're going to start with our slip knot. And we are going to now chain 32, and I like to do this in increments of 5. It just makes it easier for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go ahead and finish this. Now that we have our 32 chains, we are going to start by working a double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be right there. So go ahead and work a double crochet in that space. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th chain we are going to crochet 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now try to hang with me. I know this is a little tricky getting started, but once we get past 1 or 2 rows, it's going to be so easy for you. Okay, now we chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet in that next chain right here. Let me just pause and show you what we have so far. Okay, now we're going to chain 2 again, and we're going to skip 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that 6th chain we're going to work 4 double crochets. Let me try that one again. I didn't like the way that was starting out. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 2 and double crochet in that next chain. And chain 2 more. 1, 2, and we're going to skip 5 chains again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the 6th chain we're going to once again do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet in that next chain. Now we should have 6 chains left. We're going to chain 2, skip 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that last chain we're going to work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's just pause and take a look at what we have here. Okay, so now we're going to begin row 2, and what I show you in row 2 is what we're going to repeat for the duration of the scarf. Okay, so go ahead and turn, going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to work a double crochet in that first stitch, just like this. Now we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, the chain 2 and the double crochet. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then working in this chain 2 space right over here, the one that's in between the cluster and the single double crochet there, we're going to work 4 double crochets, and you guessed it, chain 2 and 1 double crochet, all in the same place. And that's pretty much what we're going to do all the way across. But the other thing, don't forget, chain 2 after that double crochet, skip the 4 double crochets, skip the chain 2, skip the double crochet, and then working right in this space, it's in between these 4 and the 1 double crochets, 4 double crochets, chain 2 and 1 double crochet. Let me say one other thing, because I did that kind of quickly. I am only working double crochets and chains, so as long as you know the double crochet and the chain stitch, that's what I'm doing here. If you want to slow this work down, slow the video down, all you need to do, there's a little icon either on this side for the right-handed or this side for the left-handed. If you're working on an iPhone, there'll be 3 little dots up here, but the icon down here looks like a little gear. You just click on it and it'll bring up options as to what speed you want the video to play, and you can pick a slower speed, half speed, 3/4 speed, or even a quarter speed. That'd be really slow, but you can totally adjust the speed of any of the videos on YouTube. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with my pattern. I chain 2, again skip the 4 double crochets, the chain 2 and the 1 double crochet, and working in this chain 2 space, work 4 double crochets, and chain 2 and 1 double crochet, chain 2, and we get to the end, skip these 4, skip these 2, skip that double crochet, and working in the chain space here, don't work in individual chains, just work in that entire hole there. Go ahead and work 4 double crochets. And that ends row number 2, which again is the repeat for each of these rows. So I'm going to go ahead and do row 3 with you. And then after that, I am going to go off and crochet many rows, and I will get back to you. But let's go ahead and look at row 3, which is again is the same as row 2. Chain 4. After that, chain 4. Go ahead and double crochet in that first stitch of the row, chain 2. If there's an error that you're going to probably make, and this is one that I've made several times while learning this pattern, is I forget to do the chain 2 following that double crochet. So don't forget, chain 2 basically in between everything you do. Okay, so then we skip the 3 double crochets, skip the 2 chains, and skip the double crochet, and in this space right here we work 4 double crochets, chain 2 and a double crochet, and this is the one you're probably going to forget, chain 2 after that double crochet, and then we skip 4, skip the 2 chains, skip that single double crochet, I shouldn't say single but 1 double crochet, you know what I mean, then 4 double crochets in that chain 2 space, chain 2 and a double crochet, and don't forget, chain 2 after that, skip the 4 double crochets, the 2 chain, the 1 double crochet, 4 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, chain 2, and a double crochet. Chain 2, don't forget that. 4, skip 4 double crochets, skip 2 chains, skip this double crochet, and in the last space, the chain space, go ahead and work 4 double crochets. I think you're going to like this pattern. It's going to be really fun to wear. It's nice and open and lacy, and not only that, but it's going to go very quickly. These are very short rows. You're only making what, 1, 2, like 3, maybe 4 clusters across. 1, 2, 3 here, and then if you add these 2, you get another cluster. So that's just 4 clusters across. This is going to move very quickly. And so I'm actually taking this on a very, very long airplane flight in a couple days. I'll tell you more about that once I get back. And on taking such projects like this, it is a wonderful thing because they don't take up a lot of space. It's very thin yarn, so it's going to keep me busy for a while. So, when you're traveling this summer, maybe that's something you can do. Just, find some of these thinner yarn projects where you don't have to take a whole bag of yarn. Just, 1 or 2 little rolled up hanks will do. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll show you what I have. Okay, I have completed the number of rows that I desire for the length of my scarf. I'm actually going to double wrap my scarf. It is approximately 72 inches long right now, and that took me 157 rows. Now, you may not want yours quite as long as mine. You might want it longer. It's really up to you. I just give you those numbers and measurements just to give you an idea of how many rows it would take. So now we are going to connect the end of this row, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this lays flat against itself. So let me find the end of my scarf here. Now that we have the scarf flat against itself, okay, there's no twist or anything in the larger part of that. And I'm going to have the last row that I worked behind and the row that was row number 1 in front. Go ahead and give that a chain 1. I just think this is going to be easier to see where we're working. Okay, now we're going to put our hook into that first big opening, that first chain where you had the 4 double crochets. We're going to stick our hook in there, and we're going to also stick our hook in the first double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, making this a single crochet. Now we don't have any other individual stitches here, so we're going to work the next 3 to 4 single crochets in this open area here. Stick the hook in, go into the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 for that next single crochet. And we're going to do the next one like this, and 1 more. Okay, so now we've single crocheted in all the double crochets. Now go ahead and just do a single crochet over those chains to try to fill that space there. Now the next one I want you to do in this, actually in the chain again, in the chain in the front side, and then a single crochet in that first double crochet. Okay, and then do again the using the chain here and single crochet in that chain 1 space on the other side. Okay, so this is what you have so far. Now we're ready to start again. So let's count how many stitches we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's what I wanted. 7 stitches for each section that we're joining. So now we get to the large opening again where those 4 double crochets were made. Go ahead and stick your hook in there, and then that should correspond with the first of the 4 double crochet cluster here. Okay, so make a single crochet there, and again going into the large chain 5, go ahead and single crochet in each of those next 3 double crochets, and you're also again working over this chain. Okay, so that's 4, and then 1 for just the chains, and then using the chain and the double crochet, go ahead and do a single crochet there, and again the chain and that chain 1 space. Now we're ready to work in the large hole again. We're going to repeat this again. I'm just going to work this whole row with you because I know it might be a little confusing. So let me back up here. So into that large hole and into the first of the 4 double crochet cluster, and then working just over the chain and the next 3 double crochets. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 1 to connect the 2 chains, and then 1 for the chain and that double crochet that stands alone, and then another one for that chain 1 space. Okay, now we're ready to do the last one. We're going to go ahead and work a single crochet in that big hole where those 4 double crochets are, and the first double crochet, and then now working in the chain, 1, 2, 3, and then now we have 1 for the chain, and let's go ahead and do 2 there because this is towards the end, and let's go ahead and connect these double crochets. Let's do 1 in those turning chains, just like so. And now we're ready to fasten off. This is what you should have all the way across the row. Okay, and let's go ahead and give it a chain. Pull it tightly and cut a nice long thread so that we can weave this in with our yarn needle right here. Now we don't want this to show so much, so when we wear the scarf we will have this on the inside like this. And what I like to do, if the seam it does kind of stand out from the rest of the scarf, from the rest of the pattern, so what I like to do is try to have that on the inside, maybe even put that towards the back of the neck. And if you do that, you see from the outside it is barely noticeable. Okay, so the one thing that is noticeable at the moment are these 2 strands, and if you just use the yarn like I did, there should not be any other strands to hide. So I'll show you how to hide these. We're going to thread that into our yarn needle like so, and I'm actually going to try to run it under these single crochets that we just made. So let me go ahead and do some of these. I'm just going to run them underneath the stitches just like this. And that should be plenty to hide this strand. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this one. Okay, that looks good. And I just have one more to trim, or to hide and trim over here. I'll just do this for you again in case you've never seen this before. These yarn needles are a great investment. They usually come 2 to a pack where I live when I get them at my local craft stores. And I like to have a couple on hand because I tend to wear them out. Since they're made of plastic, a lot of times these eyes, when used a lot, they will eventually break. So I like to have, at least 2 or 3 on hand because I don't like to be without them. Okay, that should be enough for that strand. And go ahead and pull it through. Give it a pull back there. And I'm going to clip it very carefully, make sure I don't clip my stitches. And that's pretty well hidden. Okay, well, this scarf is ready to wear.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, just go ahead and hit that little bell so that you won't miss any more future notifications. And if you haven't subscribed already, if you could just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then you won't miss any of the new offerings coming your way. Thanks for joining me. God bless. Bye-bye.